All right, guys. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently got into it with the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, over this highly questionable, let's say, salute gesture that Elon Musk did at the recent Trump event. So we're going to get to what AOC said and the ADL said here in just a second, but let's just remind ourselves of this viral clip that's been going around and what exactly the gesture was that Elon Musk is getting himself into hot water over.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Okay, so he ended up doing it not once, but twice. Now, you take a slow-mo sort of look at it here, and I guess the defense of him, the justification that people are giving is he was trying to give a sort of like, my heart goes out to you gesture. This is what it looked like again in slow motion. He puts his hand over his chest, and wow, I mean, just a straight out there, sort of Hitlerian gesture, if you will. Now, again, the defense that he's giving is, oh, I was saying my heart goes out to you. When you do this twice in a row, listen, guys, if you're going to say my heart goes out to you, sometimes people do it like this, right? Oh, my heart goes out to you. Sometimes maybe a one-handed, like my heart goes out to you. Sometimes you just touch your chest. Nowhere in the equation, in the formula for a my heart goes out to you sort of gesture does that come into play, right? That's not normal. This is not a normal gesture that, oh, everybody's doing all the time, and he has some sort of plausible deniability here. I don't know. You guys tell me how you interpreted this. Another excuse that I saw from people is it's not the Nazi salute, it's the Roman salute. The Roman salute that then the Nazis repurposed for their own agenda, right? So that's another interpretation that I've seen people giving. Somehow now everybody online is aware of what the Roman salute is as of this, the last couple of days. Now, we also had some people like Libs of TikTok and others making comparisons to other clips of U.S. politicians who have, I guess reportedly in their view made similar gestures. Here we have Obama. You can sort of see him waving to the crowd here. Again, notice how he didn't slap his chest and then violently stick out the straight arm there. Not exactly the same. Here we have Kamala Harris, sort of her arm is waving off to the side. She's passionately speaking, whatever. She points up to the sky and then she happens to extend her hand like that. Again, none of the clips that I've seen, none of the images that I've seen have matched up to the energy that Elon Musk is giving in this clip. I mean, they have the side-by-side down here at the bottom with actual neo-Nazis, and it seems like if you are going to compare what Elon did to any of these clips, right, with Kamala and with Obama, and AOC was floating around and a couple other ones, and you're going to compare them to those politicians versus the Nazis at the bottom, it seems like he most closely resembles the Nazis at the bottom, right? But you guys tell me what you think. Now, here we get into the ADL, AOC back and forth. So I guess we'll start off with this. This is the original ADL tweet. Their response was, "This is a delicate moment. It's a new day, and yet so many are on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute, but again, we appreciate that people are on edge. In this moment, all sides should give one another a bit of grace, perhaps even the benefit of the doubt, and take a breath. This is a new beginning. Let's hope for healing and work towards unity in the months and years ahead." I'll save my comments here because this was AOC's response. She says, "Just to be clear, you are defending a Heil Hitler salute that was performed and repeated for emphasis and clarity. People can officially stop listening to you as any sort of reputable source of information now. You work for them. Thank you for making that crystal clear to all." Now, in terms of AOC's take here, she is 100% correct. The Anti-Defamation League is not acting in service of protecting Jewish people from anti-Semitism. Okay, that's not their goal. Their goal, as has been made evidently clear over the last year and a half of the genocide in Gaza, their goal is to protect Israel from any sort of criticism and to defame, to attack, to smear any Israel critics as being anti-Semitic. Okay, so the reason that AOC is making this point here is that it's very clear that the ADL is aligning themselves with the right wing. They're aligning themselves with Trump and Elon and the rest of these guys, and they couldn't give a single solitary shit if you even literally make a Hitler salute. They don't care as long as you are relatively in support of Israel. That's their only goal. That's all that they care about. This is the same organization that spent months trying to deplatform people like Hassan Piker off of Twitch for being critical of Israel, that spent months defaming and lying about and smearing college protesters who are critical of Israel as being anti-Semites, as being Jew haters. We had people like Jonathan Greenblatt going on mainstream media outlets and basically comparing college protesters who are against genocide to actual Nazis. So this is not a reputable organization in any way, shape, or form. So AOC is 100% correct in this critique, okay, in terms of the ADL. And it's just honestly embarrassing, this kind of a tweet. You probably would have been better off if you had said nothing, if you didn't even weigh in on this and you just went dark and didn't make a comment. But to be this fucking openly pathetic about it, it was an awkward gesture. People are inflamed. This is a moment of unity. We should give people grace, right? And a moment of understanding. Where was that understanding? Where was that grace when it came to people who were protesting against the endless slaughter of innocent men, women, and children inside of Gaza? Where was the grace then? Oh, it didn't exist. This is the same ADL, by the way, that the head of the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, compared wearing a keffiyeh to wearing a swastika, okay? So, again, not a credible organization. AOC is entirely correct. We can get a little bit more into the Elon Nazi history here if we want to as well. So, first off, again, we went over some of the excuses that people are making. Oh, it was the Roman salute. It's not the Nazi salute. Oh, you guys are misinterpreting it. He was giving a heartfelt gesture, whatever the case may be. Well, if you look at actual Nazis, right, real, official, card-carrying Nazis like Nick Fuentes, they seem to interpret it as he was sending them some sort of a signal. Now, I've seen other people say, oh, Elon's just a little spastic. He's a little autistic is one of the defenses that I've heard people make. And so he's just sort of all over the place and he just sort of threw this out there. And so it didn't really mean anything. Honestly, guys, to me, the question is Elon a card-carrying Nazi? I don't know. But is he a fascist? Okay. Does he align himself with fascist movements across the rest of the world? Is he constantly spouting out fascist sort of propaganda, fascist ideological positions about migrants, about birth rates, about the collapse of Western civilization? Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have to be an open, out and about swastika armband wearing Nazi to be a fascist ideologically, to be aligned ideologically with neo-Nazis. And that's what I think that he is. And I don't even think that that's hyperbolic in any way, shape, or form to say, if you look at the day-to-day things that Elon Musk is talking about, the kinds of Twitter accounts that he's following online. If you look at the trajectory of the kinds of accounts that are going viral on Twitter since Elon Musk took over. We'll get to a little bit more of that here in a minute. But I mean, again, this was a point that was made by Joshua over here. He says he's not claiming that Elon Musk is a card-carrying neo-Nazi. What he is saying is that Musk isn't an idiot, and he likely knew exactly who he was signaling to with his actions, and those groups, the Nazis, are more than happy to celebrate it. They see it as a clear sign that their ideology is gaining power and legitimacy. So he gives just a couple examples here. We had Andrew Tate saying, "We are so back. We are so back." What do you mean by that, Andrew Tate?
And then the straight up... that was a serious Roman. It wasn't even like a subtle, like a wave, like one of these, like a Laura Ingraham. Remember when Laura Ingraham did that? That was a straight up like Sig Heil, like loving Hitler energy. that was like a straight up with intensity Roman salute.
So there you go. I mean, again, you listen to the actual people who support this kind of ideological framework, and that's the kind of shit that they're saying. This was another one here. 1,000-year technocratic empire is what Freckled Jesus had to say about this. I don't know if that's a Netherlands flag or what flag that is down there at the bottom, but here you can see the black sun symbol put behind him. And, that sort of ties into what I was just saying a second ago in terms of what's going viral on Twitter. Guys, before Elon Musk took over Twitter, I basically never saw, Nazi content. Now I see regularly, without any exaggeration, open pro-Nazi, pro-Hitler content that has tens of thousands of likes, right? We're talking about video clips like this one that have millions and millions of views, right? This has only been post Elon Musk taking over. Again, not to mention the fact that he actually follows on his Twitter account multiple Nazi accounts, right? That's not an accident. That's not a coincidence. That's like, even if you're not a card-carrying neo-Nazi, you have ideological overlap with people who are openly pro-Nazi, right? So you would think, especially with somebody like Elon, that if people are accusing you of being Nazi adjacent, maybe don't do the whole fucking Sieg Heil in front of millions of people. Maybe don't do that. Maybe pick any other gesture in the entire fucking world that would have some more plausible deniability. Now, we also have his history of, again, supporting far-right movements across the world right now. Here we have him supporting the AfD, the, German sort of far-right neo-Nazi party, as some people have referred to them as. And I picked out this article specifically because I saw a clip of Elon Musk who was talking to a top AfD official, and in the clip, both of them came to the conclusion, and this is just like full-blown Nazi Holocaust revisionism. They both agreed that Hitler was a communist, that he was a leftist, not a fascist, not a right-winger. He was actually a communist, which, if you know even just like a little bit of rudimentary history on World War II, on the rise of the Nazis, on what some of the first actions of Adolf Hitler were once he fully came to power, one of the first things that he did was to round up and to kill the communists, right? So it's a weird thing to do if he was a communist leader. That was one of the first things that he did. And basically the main point that I keep hearing them argue on is, oh, well, they had socialist in the name, right? National Socialist Party, right? This is just a completely ahistorical, revisionist argument about what the Nazis actually were ideologically. And these are the kinds of conversations that Elon Musk is having with sort of the like modern day neo-Nazi party in fucking Germany. So, I don't know, you don't want to be called a Nazi, then maybe don't do shit like that. Maybe don't align yourself with people like Tommy Robinson, who I guess is most known for being a sort of a raging Islamophobe in the UK. And Elon has been calling for him to be freed. The background of this is that Tommy Robinson basically went on a smear campaign of this Syrian refugee schoolboy, okay, a minor, who he smeared as a part of this viral video that came out in the UK. And he lied about it. He said that this Syrian refugee was attacking like English schoolgirls. There's a whole backstory to it. But he ended up being convicted and jailed for his lies and for, not appearing in court and a whole bunch of other things as well. And Elon Musk is choosing to align himself with this guy, saying, why is Tommy Robinson in solitary confinement? For telling the truth. Telling the truth. He was convicted because of his lies, right? Now, granted, the UK has much more stringent, libel laws and things like that. So I don't know if Tommy Robinson would have been convicted in similar circumstances here in the United States, but this man is about as racist as it gets. He's a full-blown Islamophobe. That's his core agenda. And Elon Musk is aligning himself with that. Why are you doing that, right? Now, we also have, again, the point I was making before, that There are verified, meaning they have the check mark next to their name, pro-Nazi accounts that are flourishing under Elon Musk. An NBC News analysis review identified 150 verified premium accounts that have posted or amplified pro-Nazi commentary. So, I mean, again, is this an accident? Is this an accident? You guys tell me. Finally, we have here finishing off Elon Musk's father, okay, who I don't know what the context of this podcast was, but he went on a podcast and he was discussing Elon Musk's maternal grandparents and their history. Let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this clip here because this is incredibly interesting in terms of potentially Elon Musk's influence growing up.
Her parents, by the way, were very fanatical in favor of apartheid. This is quite interesting. Her parents came to South Africa from Canada because they sympathized with the Afrikaner government. They used to support Hitler and all that sort of stuff. But they didn't know, obviously, I don't think they knew what the Nazis were doing. But they in Canada, they were in the German party in Canada. And they sympathized with the Germans.
Yeah.
So when the Afrikaners government came into power here in 1948, then May's father, who was quite an interesting guy, he was a very good pilot, he said he wants to be with the Afrikaners because he agrees with apartheid, you see. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And he came out here with his family.
And didn't that cause tension with you because you don't?
Yeah, that caused a lot of tension with me. And because I was a director of NUSAS, which was a National Union of South African Students, which is a very anti-apartheid body, you know. And I argued with them a lot, and they used to tell me, they used to be like rude to me, you know, and the parents. And then when May was in her final year, around about that time, I said, "Look, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to come to our house anymore. I don't like your parents."
Gee.
You see, really.
So Elon Musk's grandparents were, number one, pro-Nazi openly. They lived in Canada, apparently. And they chose to move to South Africa specifically because they liked the apartheid nature of South Africa at the time. Huh? Excuse me? Now, I don't know if this is the same guy who had, some sort of a stake in an apartheid emerald mine. He's saying here that he was part of some sort of a coalition that was anti-apartheid. I don't know the specific details on that, but it's just a little bit interesting, right, in terms of his background. So I'll let you guys be the judge. I've laid out sort of the case here in terms of, again, the point is not just that, Elon Musk is a card-carrying Nazi and he wants to implement some sort of a Hitlerian rule or whatever. It's just that he's clearly a fascist, okay? Ideologically, he is aligned with neo-Nazis in more ways than one, right? And at the same time that he's going out and doing a fucking Sieg Heil Hitler salute, Roman salute, whatever you want to call it, we have organizations like the ADL that are supposed to be combating anti-Semitism who are running cover for him because he happens to be a little bit more pro-Israel, because he runs a more pro-Israel platform, because he's sort of doing their bidding on that front. And we have very few politicians, few and far between, people like AOC, who are willing to call it as it is, who are willing to point this out for the bullshit that it actually is. So I'll leave you guys off with that. That's a story. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll just say this. I've never seen a more aggressive public display of a Sieg Heil from such a public figure. Okay? We're talking about the richest man in the world speaking at an event where he is bolstering another billionaire who he helped to get into office, and he's just straight up Sieg Heiling. Okay? I've never seen a more public display of it, never seen something as aggressive as it. You guys let me know. Was it something innocent? Is it some other explanation that I'm missing here? I don't know, but given the context, find it a little bit hard to believe.
Politic guy has the best politic. Believe me, no one does it like him. Believe me. Everyone want to sing